Imagine standing on the vast, open steppe, feeling the ground tremble beneath your feet as thousands of hoofbeats thunder towards you. The air is thick with the dust of an approaching army that, in its time, was as feared as it was enigmatic. Known for their unyielding power and enigmatic nature, the Mongol Empire remains one of the most formidable forces in history. But what if I told you that many of the practices, now seen as unnerving and chilling, were just part of everyday life back then? Picture a world where the very things we find spine-chilling were considered normal customs woven into the tapestry of Mongol culture. From their ruthless conquests to eerie rituals, prepare to delve into a past where the boundaries between life and death, peace and war were a mere whisper. Join us as we explore the mysterious and often haunting aspects of Mongol life that defy modern understanding and reveal the darker side of an empire that left an indelible mark on history. Stay with us and you'll uncover secrets that will challenge your perception of this formidable empire and its chilling normalcy. The first practice involves the Mongol mastery in warfare tactics that revolutionized how battles were fought. Their psychological warfare played a crucial role. They were adept in spreading terror even before any conflict began, using deception and surprise as tools to unnerve opponents. Imagine being an enemy, expecting an army to approach at dawn, only to be met by a silent night raid that throws your camp into chaos. It was not just their unpredictability that instilled fear, but also their swift horse-mounted attacks. With unmatched speed and agility, Mongol warriors could unleash a barrage of arrows, striking with precision while remaining elusive to counterattacks. Their ability to cover great distances quickly allowed them to engage and disengage at will, creating a sense of helplessness among foes. Moreover, the Mongols were strategic geniuses when it came to sieges. They employed advanced engineering techniques to breach city walls, using gigantic siege engines that seemed to echo the very thunder of their horses. Tunnels under fortifications, catapults raining destruction from the skies, and psychological tactics to demoralize defenders were all part of their repertoire. It was these relentless strategies that ensured their dominance across vast territories, turning cities into submission and expanding an empire that seemed unstoppable. The sheer impact of these war tactics left a lasting impression that resonates even today as stories of their campaigns still echo through history, underscoring the eerie efficiency that defined the Mongol way of war. The second practice centers on the deeply rooted tradition of horse sacrifices, a ritual that was integral to Mongol society. Horses were not just animals to the Mongols, they were revered and held a sacred status akin to family members. These majestic creatures were essential to everyday life, providing not only the means for travel and warfare, but also companionship and status. The bond between a Mongol and their horse was profound, nurtured from a young age and steeped in mutual respect and understanding. Yet, in a paradoxical turn, this deep connection led to the ritual of horse sacrifices, a practice that may appear unsettling today. These sacrifices were believed to appease spirits and invoke blessings. During these ceremonies, a horse would be offered to the spirits, symbolizing a gift of utmost value to ensure prosperity, protection, or success in battles. The rituals were elaborate, often involving prayers, chants, and symbolic gestures, underscoring the immense significance and solemnity of the practice. It's fascinating to consider how the Mongols could hold such reverence for horses and yet participate in their sacrifice, a duality that signified the complexity of their beliefs and traditions. This blend of devotion and ritual sacrifice paints a vivid picture of the Mongol worldview, where life and the spiritual realm were intertwined in ways that defy our modern sensibilities. Understanding this aspect offers a glimpse into the enigmatic practices that defined Mongol culture, showcasing how they navigated the sacred and the pragmatic in their quest for harmony with the forces they revered. The third element of intrigue is the Yam System, the ancient postal network that served as the veins of the Mongol Empire, connecting its vast expanse with remarkable efficiency. Picture a network so extensive and meticulously organized that it allowed couriers to travel across great distances with astonishing speed, ensuring the swift transmission of messages and orders from the highest reaches of power to the remote edges of the empire. These couriers were akin to the lifeline of communication, riding across the steppes through harsh weather and treacherous terrain, driven by a commitment that seemed almost supernatural. The secrets to their success lay in the relay stations, strategically placed at regular intervals along key routes. These stations provided fresh horses and provisions, allowing couriers to maintain their rapid pace without pause. But what makes the Yam system particularly haunting are the lengths to which these couriers would go to secure their messages. In the shadows of this network, they employed dead drops hiding messages in pre-arranged locations accessible only by those in the know, concealing sensitive information in places safe from prying eyes. Coupled with an array of secret signals and codes, these tactics ensured that messages, even those of utmost secrecy, traveled with an eerie reliability that was both admired and feared. This system was more than just a postal network. It was a testament to the cunning and organizational prowess of the Mongols, illustrating how they harnessed both speed and stealth to command an empire that thrived on the whispers of the wind and the relentless gallop of horses over the endless steppe. Khagan's food tasters played an unsettling yet crucial role in the Mongol court. Tasked with the seemingly simple yet perilous duty of tasting the Khagan's meals, they were the unsung guardians against a world fraught with danger and betrayal. Imagine the weight of responsibility as they sampled each morsel, knowing that their very survival was at stake. Their role, though prestigious, was steeped in constant peril, a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of poisoning that loomed over Mongol leaders. These food tasters lived on the razor's edge of fate, each meal a test of loyalty and courage. Their presence underscored the intense paranoia that enveloped the Mongol court. Intrigues and plots simmered beneath the surface, with trust being a rare and precious commodity. The position of a food taster was unique, reserved for those who could be trusted implicitly, yet it was a double-edged sword. While they were close to power, they were also expendable, a chilling reminder of the precariousness of court life. Their daily routine revolved around the Khagan's meals, preparing to meet any potential threats head-on, often possessing knowledge of herbal and chemical substances to detect poisons. The life of a food taster was a constant dance with death, a testament to the lengths to which the Mongols went to safeguard their leaders. This eerie blend of prestige and peril offers a glimpse into the intricate dynamics of Mongol leadership, where layers of secrecy and suspicion define the corridors of power. The role of a food taster not only highlights the fragility of trust within the court, but also reflects the broader atmosphere of vigilance and intrigue that characterized the Mongol Empire. The jur, known as a yurt in other cultures, was the quintessential dwelling of the Mongol people, embodying their nomadic spirit and resourcefulness. These portable homes were marvels of practicality and efficiency, designed to be easily assembled and disassembled as the Mongols roamed vast territories in pursuit of sustenance and conquest. Imagine stepping inside a jur, a circular abode with its framework of wooden latticework draped with felt and canvas, offering warmth and shelter against the harsh elements of the steppes. To the Mongols, it was more than just a home. It was a symbol of their way of life, an anchor in the ever-shifting landscape of their existence. Yet, to those unfamiliar with this mobile lifestyle, the jur appeared alien and perhaps unsettling. The sight of these round, tent-like structures dotting the horizon spoke to a lifestyle that defied the permanence so valued by sedentary societies. The mere existence of such adaptability challenged conventional concepts of home and community. Each jur was more than a structure. It was a testament to the adaptability and resilience of the Mongol people, reflecting their deep connection to the land and the seasons. The circular shape of the jur was not only practical for withstanding wind, but also held deep symbolism, representing unity, eternity, and the cyclical nature of life. Within its walls, the Mongols held family gatherings, shared meals, and passed down traditions, the hearth at its center a sacred space symbolizing warmth and life. The jur was a microcosm of Mongol society, a blend of the sacred and the everyday, illustrating a profound cultural importance that was inseparable from their identity. As we delve deeper into the world of the Mongols, the jur stands as a powerful emblem of their enduring legacy and the mysterious allure of a lifestyle that thrived on the fringes of the known world. Shamanistic rituals steeped in mystery and spiritual significance were at the heart of Mongol spirituality. Imagine a world where the boundaries between the spiritual and the physical were fluid, where shamans acted as conduits between realms. These mystical figures were revered as spiritual leaders and healers, entrusted with the critical role of maintaining harmony between the human world and the forces unseen. Shamans were believed to possess the unique ability to communicate directly with spirits, ancestors, and deities, entering trances that transcended the ordinary limits of human consciousness. Picture a shaman adorned in elaborate garments, dancing to the rhythm of drums under the vast Mongolian sky, invoking the spirits through chants and rituals. Their healing ceremonies were legendary, where the power of belief and faith in the shaman's abilities played a vital role in the recovery of the ill. The shaman would diagnose ailments believed to be caused by spiritual disharmony and perform intricate rituals to restore balance. Divination was another key aspect of their function, where shamans sought guidance from the ethereal to foretell future events, crucial for making decisions in governance and warfare. They interpreted omens, dreams, and the movements of stars, providing insights that leaders relied upon. These rituals were more than just spiritual practices. They were deeply woven into the fabric of Mongol governance, influencing decisions at the highest levels of power. The presence of shamans within the Mongol court underscored the profound integration of spirituality and leadership, where the lines between mysticism and authority blurred in fascinating ways. Understanding these rituals offers a glimpse into the complex spiritual worldview of the Mongols, revealing how their reverence for the mystical shaped their society and decision-making processes. The shamanistic practices, with their eerie allure, underscore the deeper cultural and spiritual dimensions that permeated every aspect of Mongol life, painting a rich tapestry of belief that guided their steps in a world full of hidden forces. The Mongol customs surrounding death and burial offer a fascinating glimpse into their unique worldview, where life and its end were treated with reverence yet shrouded in mystery. One of the most intriguing practices was the sky burial, a ritual that underscored their spiritual beliefs and deep connection to the elements. In this ceremony, the body of the deceased was left exposed to the open sky, allowing nature to reclaim what was once living. This practice aligned with their belief in the cyclical nature of life, where death was not an end but a transformation, a return to the eternal blue sky that they revered. Imagine a serene landscape where the remains are offered to the birds, a gesture that symbolized the freeing of the soul and its journey to the afterlife. It was a practice that might seem unsettling to an outsider, but was deeply rooted in the Mongols' understanding of existence and their spiritual connection to the earth and sky. Equally intriguing was the secretive burial of leaders. These burials involved elaborate rituals to ensure that the final resting place remained hidden to all but a chosen few. This secrecy was believed to protect the soul and maintain the sanctity of their leadership even in death. The tombs of great Khans were said to be concealed with such care that their locations were known only through whispers and legends. This practice highlights a profound respect for their leaders, extending beyond life into the reverence of their memory and spirit. The enigmatic nature of these burials, part reverence, part necessity, speaks to the complexity of Mongol beliefs, where the transient nature of life was embraced and the afterlife remained a sacred journey. These end-of-life practices reflect a worldview that saw life and death as intertwined, each a chapter in the endless cycle of existence, and offer a poignant insight into the spiritual dimensions that shaped the Mongol Empire's legacy. The significance of blood oaths among the Mongols was profound, reinforcing alliances and signifying unwavering loyalty in ways that were as binding as they were solemn. These oaths were not mere promises, they were sacred pledges sealed through ritual and imbued with immense cultural weight. Picture a scene where two leaders, perhaps once adversaries, stand together under the endless sky, each drawing a blade to make a small incision on their hand. As their blood mingles, so too do their destinies, creating an unbreakable bond forged in the shared trust and honor of the oath. This act was more than symbolic. It was a declaration to the heavens, carrying the weight of spiritual and communal expectation. In a society where trust was paramount yet often elusive, a blood oath represented an ironclad contract that extended beyond words and into the realm of the sacred. Breaking such an oath was unthinkable, a transgression that invited dire consequences not only in this life but beyond. The repercussions were fearsome, seen as a betrayal that could unravel alliances and bring dishonor upon one's name and lineage, potentially inviting the wrath of both men and spirits. These oaths underscored the complexity of Mongol relations, where alliances were as fluid as they were fierce, and loyalty was both a personal and collective commitment. The ritualistic nature of blood oaths reflects the intricate tapestry of Mongol culture, where every pledge carried the weight of history, and each binding tied into the broader narrative of a people governed by honor, loyalty, and the ever-watchful gaze of the eternal blue sky. Khan's gruesome punishments were a chilling testament to the Mongol leaders' absolute power and their ability to instill fear as a means of maintaining order. Imagine living in a world where the consequences of disobedience or betrayal were not only publicly executed but designed to be as terrifying as possible. These punishments were severe, often involving methods that would make even the most hardened warrior shudder. Boiling was one such method, a punishment that left no room for doubt about the fate of those who crossed the Mongols. Victims were submerged in cauldrons until their torment reached its agonizing end, serving as a stark warning to onlookers about the cost of defiance. Flaying, another gruesome technique, involved the removal of skin, a practice that was as horrifying as it was effective in ensuring compliance. The act of skinning alive was reserved for the gravest of offenses, sending a clear message that betrayal was met with the utmost severity. These tortures were not merely acts of cruelty, they were instruments of control, creating an atmosphere where the mere thought of dissent could be quashed by the fear of retribution. In the Mongol Empire, such punishments were meticulously executed, often in public spheres to reinforce their authority and control over the populace. This merciless approach to justice underscored the Mongols' deep understanding of fear as a tool of governance, ensuring that their dominion was maintained with an iron grip. But beyond their immediate horror, these brutal rituals of punishment left a lasting impression, etching into the minds of both subjects and enemies the indomitable will of the Mongol leaders. Such practices illustrate the stark reality faced by those under Mongol rule, where obedience was not just expected but enforced through terror, shaping a society that was as much governed by fear as by the law itself. This glimpse into the gruesome punishments of the Mongols unveils the darker side of their empire, revealing a world where discipline and dominance were carved into the very fabric of life through methods as unforgiving as they were unforgettable. Mongol superstitions formed an intricate web of beliefs that guided the day-to-day lives of the people, intertwined with their reverent view of the world and its unseen forces. Imagine living in a time where every natural phenomenon and unexplained event carried a deeper meaning, believed to be a message from spirits or a sign of things to come. This was the world of the Mongols, where omens were not merely noticed but heeded with the utmost seriousness. A hawk circling above or a peculiar formation in the clouds could be perceived as a divine signal, influencing decisions that could alter the course of history. Spirits, both benevolent and malevolent, were thought to inhabit the world alongside the living. These spirits required respect and appeasement, shaping everything from how daily chores were conducted to the strategies deployed in battle. One such belief involved the spirits of ancestors who were considered ever-present, watching over their descendants. Actions were taken to honor these spirits, ensuring their favor and guidance. Taboos also played a significant role, dictating behavior and serving as a guide for maintaining harmony with the spiritual world. Breaking a taboo could invite misfortune, a risk no Mongol would take lightly. For example, it was believed that stepping over a horse's reins could bring ill fate, while whistling indoors was thought to call ill winds. These superstitions extended into warfare, with leaders often consulting spiritual advisors before making crucial decisions. The belief in favorable omens could bolster the morale of troops or steer a campaign, while ill omens might delay an advance. On the home front, the placement of objects within a jur and the timing of certain activities were carefully considered to avoid disturbing the balance of forces. This rich tapestry of beliefs highlights how the supernatural was woven into the fabric of daily life, guiding actions and reinforcing the Mongols' deep connection to a world where the visible and the invisible danced in tandem, influencing every corner of their empire. The practice of marriage and abduction customs among the Mongols reveals a fascinating blend of strategy and tradition, underscoring the complex dynamics of their social structure. In Mongol society, marriages were rarely just unions of love. They were strategic alliances designed to strengthen familial ties and consolidate power. Picture two families, each with its own set of ambitions and influence, coming together to forge a bond that transcends mere affection, aimed at securing mutual interests and enhancing their standing within the community. These alliances were carefully negotiated, often involving intricate arrangements that considered wealth, status, and political influence. However, what might seem even more striking through modern eyes is the practice of bride abduction, a custom that was surprisingly normalized and even ritualized within Mongol culture. Unlike the way we understand abduction today, in the context of the Mongols, this practice was often consensual, with potential brides and their families sometimes even participating in the arrangement. It was a symbolic act that signified strength and valor, where the groom would capture his bride, emulating the triumphs of his warrior ancestors. This ritual abduction was steeped in tradition, replete with specific customs and ceremonies that marked the transition of the bride from her family to her new life. While the idea of bride abduction might be unsettling now, it was an accepted part of courtship and marriage among the Mongols, reflecting a worldview where power dynamics and social contracts were woven into the fabric of these relationships. Understanding these customs sheds light on the intricate balance between tradition and pragmatism in Mongol life, offering a glimpse into how their societal norms, though alien to us today, shaped the alliances and family structures that supported the vast empire. Through these practices, the Mongols forged connections that sustained their communities, reflecting a society where personal relationships were intricately tied to broader aspirations and cultural continuity. The spread of the Black Death, a catastrophic pandemic that reshaped world history, was intricately linked to the trade networks established by the Mongols. Picture trade routes bustling with merchants, goods, and knowledge speeding across vast territories under the Pax Mongolica. These very pathways, which connected distant lands in unprecedented ways, also became conduits for the swift and deadly spread of the plague. The disease, carried by fleas on rats that traveled with caravans, found its way into the heart of bustling markets and crowded towns, hitching a ride along the extensive Mongol trade arteries that spanned continents. The impact was devastating. Communities that had once thrived in the wake of flourishing trade were suddenly engulfed in the shadow of death, as mortality rates soared and entire populations were decimated. The pandemic followed the Mongol pathways with a terrifying inevitability, crossing from Central Asia into Europe and beyond, leaving in its wake an eerie legacy of fear and desolation. Cities were transformed almost overnight. Once vibrant centers of commerce and culture became haunting echoes of their former selves, marked by the presence of mass graves and abandoned streets. With it came not just death but a profound shift in societal structures, economies, and cultures, a lasting reminder of how interconnected the world had become under Mongol influence. The Black Death serves as a chilling testament to the unintended consequences of global connectivity, illustrating how the same networks that facilitated prosperity also harbored the seeds of destruction. It is a stark reminder of the dual-edged nature of progress and the enduring impact of the Mongol Empire on the tapestry of history. Religious tolerance yet ruthless conquests presents a fascinating contrast within Mongol society. Imagine a world where the fierce warriors who could lay waste to entire cities also fostered an environment where diverse religious beliefs coexisted peacefully. This apparent contradiction was a hallmark of Mongol governance. The Mongols, under the leadership of their great Khans, practiced an impressive level of religious tolerance that was ahead of their time. Across their vast empire, they allowed various religions to thrive, be it Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, or indigenous practices, understanding that spiritual diversity could be an asset rather than a threat. The Mongols themselves were deeply spiritual, with a belief system rooted in the worship of the eternal blue sky, yet they respected the sanctity of other faiths, incorporating them into the fabric of their diverse empire. They often granted religious leaders autonomy, allowing them to maintain their practices and influence communities without interference. This approach helped the Mongols maintain control over their expansive territories by fostering goodwill among conquered peoples, minimizing resistance and ensuring stability. However, this tolerance stood in stark contrast to their actions on the battlefield. The Mongols were ruthless in their conquests, wielding their military prowess with a level of ferocity unmatched by their contemporaries. When a city resisted, it faced the full brunt of Mongol might, often leading to catastrophic destruction and loss of life. They executed those who defied them with chilling efficiency, using fear as a tool to subdue and command. This duality, embracing religious freedom while pursuing unrelenting warfare, underscored the complexity of Mongol rule. It was a calculated strategy, balancing the sword with the open hand, that allowed them to build an empire that was as terrifying as it was diverse. It challenges modern perceptions, inviting us to ponder how the Mongols managed to cultivate an environment where pluralism thrived amidst the echo of clashing swords and rumbling hooves. This dichotomy reveals the Mongols as a society of contrasts, pragmatic in their approach to governance but relentless in their quest for domination, crafting a legacy that reverberates through history as both awe-inspiring and chilling in its execution. The education of children in the Mongol Empire was a testament to their society's emphasis on resilience, adaptability, and martial prowess. Imagine a young Mongol child, barely able to walk, already being introduced to the world of horseback riding, a skill that was not just encouraged but deemed essential from an early age. This training was not confined to leisure or sport. It was preparation for a life synonymous with the fast-paced, ever-moving nature of Mongol existence. As these children grew, so did the complexity of their education, with lessons that extended beyond mere physical skills. They were taught the art of archery, mastering the famous composite bow that was engineered for use on horseback, allowing them to strike with precision even at a full gallop. It was in these foundational years that they learned the intricacies of warfare, from the subtle tactics of ambush to the disciplined coordination needed for group hunts and raids. Survival skills were woven into their upbringing, teaching them to live off the land with minimal resources, find water in arid landscapes, and endure the extreme climates of the steppe. They were initiated into the world of strategy early on, understanding not only how to fight but when to negotiate and how to assess their opponent's strengths and weaknesses. This blend of physical conditioning, mental acuity, and strategic insight equipped young Mongols with the instincts and skills necessary to thrive in a society that valued mobility and martial excellence above all else. Through this rigorous education, Mongol children became adept at navigating the challenges of their environment, learning to harness the power of their natural world to fuel their empire's expansion. Their upbringing was a mirror of the nomadic lifestyle they were destined to lead, fostering a generation that could seamlessly transition from the hearth to the battlefield, embodying the relentless spirit of the Mongol Empire. This immersion from youth into such a demanding lifestyle ensured that by the time they reached adulthood, they were not only warriors but also formidable leaders capable of guiding their people through the unpredictable tides of conquest and survival. The Mongol mastery of trade networks, particularly the famed Silk Road, played a pivotal role in transforming their empire into a hub of commerce and cultural exchange. Imagine a time when caravans laden with silk, spices, and precious metals traversed vast distances, connecting Asia with Europe, with the Mongols acting as the gatekeepers of these lucrative routes. Their strategic control of the Silk Road not only facilitated the flow of goods, but also allowed for the exchange of ideas, culture, and technology across continents. Picture bustling marketplaces where merchants from diverse backgrounds converged, trading exotic wares under the vigilant eyes of the Mongol authorities. This facilitation of trade brought unparalleled prosperity to the empire, enriching it economically and culturally. However, the Mongol reputation for merciless conquest and power created an atmosphere of unnatural fear among traders and travelers alike. The same roads that promised wealth and progress also held the shadow of Mongol wrath, a swift and severe response to any disruption or disobedience. This duality of promise and peril defined the Mongol approach to trade. They encouraged commerce, yet their formidable presence ensured compliance with their rules. Through their dominance of these networks, the Mongols showcased a sophisticated understanding of economic power, using it as a tool to expand their influence and reinforce their rule. Their legacy on the Silk Road is a testament to their unparalleled ability to unite disparate worlds into a singular tapestry, where the promise of prosperity always carried the whispered echo of the Mongol name, a symbol of both opportunity and awe. The use of biological warfare by the Mongols reveals yet another layer of their strategic prowess and chilling methods to ensure dominance during sieges. Imagine the bewilderment and terror of defenders as they witness not just arrows and stones being hurled over their city walls, but the bodies of plague-infected individuals. This tactic, as unsettling as it was ingenious, involved catapulting these corpses into besieged cities with the intent of spreading disease among the enemy ranks. It was a method that turned nature's most feared force, the plague, into an ally on the battlefield. The psychological impact was profound. As the grim bodies landed with a thud, they brought with them not just the stench of death but the looming specter of a silent, invisible enemy. Fear spread faster than the disease itself, demoralizing defenders and often leading to chaos within the walls of fortified cities. This use of biological warfare was not just about inflicting physical harm. It was an assault on the mind, undermining the morale of those trapped inside with the knowledge that their adversaries wielded such terrifying weapons. By weaponizing the very fabric of life, the Mongols demonstrated their understanding of psychological warfare on a level that was both clever and deeply unsettling. Such tactics served to reinforce the Mongol reputation as an unstoppable force, capable of leveraging any means necessary to conquer and control. In the annals of military history, these early instances of biological warfare highlight the Mongols' willingness to exploit every possible avenue to assert their dominance, leaving an indelible mark on the art of war and the psyche of their adversaries. The fear instilled by these tactics not only contributed to their unparalleled success in conquest, but also cemented their legacy as a feared and formidable empire, forever altering the landscape of warfare with their unorthodox and chilling innovations. The Pax Mongolica, often dubbed as the Mongol Peace, was a period that underscored the duality of Mongol rule, a time of unparalleled stability across the expanse of their empire, made possible by their iron grip. Imagine a vast territory stretching from the edges of Europe through to Asia, unified under a banner of peace that was as much about security as it was about control. This era enabled a flourishing of trade and cultural exchange on a scale previously unseen. Merchants, scholars, and travelers moved freely along routes that were now safer thanks to Mongol protection, their journeys facilitated by the reduced threat of banditry that had once plagued these roads. The Mongols' unyielding control meant that their empire served as a reliable conduit for the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies, knitting together a diverse tapestry of cultures and economies. However, this peace was not born solely from benevolence. It was maintained through a combination of fear and repression, where order was achieved under the watchful eyes of Mongol overseers ready to suppress any hint of unrest. The Pax Mongolica thrived on a delicate balance where the promise of prosperity coexisted with the potential for swift and decisive reprisal against dissent. The Mongols' approach reflected a pragmatic understanding of governance, acknowledging that peace could be a powerful tool for expansion and sustainability, provided it was underpinned by a readiness to wield force when necessary. As trade routes flourished and cities prospered, the aura of Mongol dominance remained ever present, a reminder that the stability enjoyed by so many was the result of an empire unyielding in its demands for compliance. This duality, where peace was as much a construct of might as it was of diplomacy, illustrates the complex legacy of the Pax Mongolica, an era that reshaped the world through a unique blend of stability and control, leaving a lasting imprint on history that resonates with the echoes of both prosperity and power. Cultural assimilation enforced by the Mongols was a defining characteristic of their rule, illustrating a methodical approach to both governance and expansion that was as multifaceted as it was effective. Imagine a conquered city, its streets echoing with languages and customs unfamiliar to the Mongol invaders. Yet, instead of eradicating these cultures, the Mongols implemented a strategy that sought to integrate them, bringing about a blend that was both enriching and at times oppressive. At the heart of this assimilation was the imposition of certain Mongol customs and practices upon the subjugated populations. Local leaders were often required to adopt Mongol dress, learn the Mongol language, and participate in Mongol rituals, a move that solidified the Mongol presence and influence within these regions. This enforced cultural shift ensured that the Mongols remained a visible and influential authority, subtly weaving their traditions into the fabric of everyday life for the conquered. Yet, this was far from a one-directional process. The Mongols, known for their pragmatic approach to governance, also absorbed elements of the cultures they conquered, resulting in a rich tapestry of cultural exchange that enhanced the diversity within the empire. For instance, they embraced the administrative systems of the Persians, the artistic styles of the Chinese, and the religious philosophies of the many peoples they governed. This created an empire that was uniquely cosmopolitan, replete with a level of cultural plurality rarely seen in historical empires. However, the enforcement of cultural assimilation was not without its dark undertones. It often led to the erosion of local identities and traditions, as people were compelled to conform to a new order that favored Mongol norms over native practices. The delicate balance between preservation and domination illustrates the complexities of Mongol rule, where the imposition of foreign customs served to consolidate power, fostering a controlled harmony that ultimately reinforced their dominance. Understanding this aspect of the Mongol Empire offers insight into how they maintained their vast and diverse territories, highlighting the dual nature of cultural assimilation as both a unifier and a suppressor, shaping an empire that thrived on its ability to blend and transform, yet never without imposing its indomitable will. The practice of frequent relocation of entire settlements served as a strategic tool in the Mongol Empire, reflecting their pragmatic approach to consolidation and control. Imagine a thriving community, its bustling markets and vibrant homes suddenly packed up and moved at the decree of Mongol leaders. This wasn't merely a matter of convenience, it was a calculated maneuver to centralize power and redistribute resources as needed to support their expansive empire. The Mongols, with their unparalleled mobility, viewed these relocations as a means to bolster strategic regions, shifting populations to strengthen key areas, supply occupational forces, or even placate newly conquered territories with loyal settlers. The result was a landscape transformed where once thriving villages could swiftly become eerie ghost towns, standing silent in the shadow of their former vibrancy. These abandoned settlements served as stark reminders of the empire's reach, as entire communities became whispers of history, their streets once echoing with life now silent save for the winds. The ghost towns left behind were not just empty shells, they represented the profound impact of Mongol rule, where the needs of the empire often overshadowed the individuality of local communities. This unsettling transformation of the landscape underscored the Mongols' capacity to reshape the world around them, leaving behind an enduring legacy of both mighty conquests and spectral echoes, an empire where the fluidity of borders and the impermanence of settlement stood as testament to their unyielding pursuit of dominance. The rituals of victorious battles were a grand spectacle that painted a vivid picture of Mongol triumph and ambition. Imagine the scene as the dust settles on a battlefield, the clamor of war giving way to the rhythmic beats of drums echoing across the plains, signaling the onset of celebrations. These were not mere feasts, they were elaborate ceremonies that echoed with the pride and might of the Mongol victors. In the aftermath of battle, the Mongols engaged in rituals designed to honor their gods and pay homage to the spirits that presided over their destiny. The spoils of war were displayed with pride, a testament to their prowess and a warning to future adversaries. Warriors gathered around roaring fires, recounting tales of valor and strategy, their voices blending with the melodies of traditional instruments. Yet it was not only tales of battle that filled the air. These gatherings were also spiritual in nature, with shamans performing rites to cleanse the warriors and ensure the favor of the deities for future endeavors. Offerings were made to the eternal blue sky, the sacred force they believed governed their fate, seeking its continued blessing and protection. The Mongol victory celebrations were not just about revelry, they were a reaffirmation of their place in the cosmos, a symbolic act of weaving the bloodshed and bravery of war into the tapestry of their cultural and spiritual identity. As the night wore on, the horizon glimmered with the light of countless fires, marking the triumphs that propelled the Mongol Empire to new heights and underscoring a society where every battle won was another thread in the intricate web of their imperial ambition. The fascination with augury and divination in the Mongol Empire reveals the deep-rooted belief in destiny and the mystical forces that guided their leaders. Imagine a gathering under the vast, open sky, where the whispers of the wind and the flight of birds are not just random occurrences but messages from the spiritual realm, interpreted with profound reverence. For the Mongols, the art of augury was an essential tool in decision-making, with leaders and shamans seeking guidance from these ethereal signs to inform their strategies in war and governance. Picture a shaman deeply attuned to the subtle shifts in nature, casting stones or bones and divining patterns that revealed what lay ahead. These readings were considered sacred, influencing everything from the timing of an attack to the negotiations of an alliance. The stars above, the cries of animals, even the patterns of smoke, all were seen as potent symbols capable of foretelling success or doom. Leaders placed significant trust in these interpretations, believing that aligning their actions with the cosmic forces would ensure favor from the spirits and the eternal blue sky. This practice of divination was more than superstition. It was an integral part of the Mongol worldview, where the spiritual and physical realms were intertwined in a delicate dance of fate and free will. By adhering to these celestial insights, the Mongols navigated the treacherous waters of their expansive empire with a confidence that was as mystical as it was strategic. These practices highlight the intricate layers of Mongol culture, where the unseen played a crucial role in shaping the tangible, and fate was a wheel that could be spun only with the guidance of the spirits. The reliance on augury and divination underscores a society in which the future was perpetually in flux, always subject to the divine whispers that hovered just beyond the reach of human understanding. The cult of eternal blue sky was a profound cornerstone of the Mongol belief system, a celestial deity that embodied the infinite and sacred essence of their universe. Imagine gazing up at the endless expanse above, a vast, unwavering presence that both guided and governed life itself. For the Mongols, the eternal blue sky was not just a symbolic presence but a divine entity that bestowed legitimacy and authority upon their leaders. It was under this eternal canopy that the Khans believed they were ordained to rule, receiving a divine mandate that justified their conquests and unyielding power. This belief in the sacred sky framed their understanding of the world, creating a spiritual hierarchy where the heavens sanctioned the earthly reign of the Mongol rulers. The connection between the Khans and the eternal blue sky was integral to their identity, a defining element that transcended the physical realm and rooted their authority in cosmic significance. Each campaign, every strategic decision, was seen as part of a grand cosmic plan, aligned with the will of the eternal blue sky. This divine connection created an aura of invincibility around the Mongol leaders, reinforcing their right to expand and maintain their empire under the celestial gaze. It shaped not just their leadership but the very fabric of Mongol culture, where the sky's infinite expanse mirrored the boundless ambition and spiritual depth of the people. Embracing this deity was more than a religious act. It was an embodiment of their ethos and aspirations, a guiding force that called them to greatness while binding them under the limitless dome of potential and destiny. The cult of eternal blue sky thus weaves a compelling tapestry of belief, where the mysteries of the heavens were a source of both inspiration and power, forever imprinting the Mongol legacy in the annals of history. The Tumen system, a highly structured military organization, was a testament to the Mongols' unparalleled mastery in organizing warfare. Imagine an army so meticulously arranged that it could be mobilized with remarkable speed and precision, striking fear into the hearts of its adversaries. This system divided their vast military into units of tens, hundreds, thousands, culminating in a tumen which consisted of 10,000 warriors. Each unit operated with a level of autonomy that enabled flexibility on the battlefield, yet was also part of a larger, cohesive force that could execute complex strategies with eerie efficiency. The brilliance of the tumen system lay in its simplicity and scalability, allowing the Mongols to deploy forces rapidly over vast distances, adapting to diverse terrains and enemy tactics. Picture an army that could be disassembled and reassembled swiftly, its components as fluid as the steppe winds yet as powerful as a thunderstorm. The leaders of each unit were chosen for their skill and loyalty, ensuring that every tumen was led by a commander capable of making swift decisions in the heat of battle. This hierarchical yet flexible structure meant that Mongol armies were always ready to respond to threats or exploit opportunities, overwhelming foes with both numbers and strategic acumen. The psychological impact on their enemies was profound. Facing a Mongol army organized with such chilling precision left many adversaries demoralized even before the first arrow flew. The tumen system was not just a military tool. It was the embodiment of Mongol discipline and ingenuity, a force multiplier that amplified their prowess and contributed significantly to their conquest. By understanding and mastering such an efficient system, the Mongols secured their reputation as one of history's most formidable and feared military powers, leaving an indelible mark on the art of warfare. The nomadic lifestyle norm of the Mongols was a defining characteristic that shaped their entire worldview, setting them apart from the sedentary societies of their time. Imagine a life untethered by permanent structures, where homes were dismantled and transported across the vast steppes, reflecting an existence as fluid as the wind itself. This relentless mobility was not just a necessity but a chosen way of life that allowed the Mongols to thrive in a harsh environment. For them, movement was synonymous with freedom and resourcefulness, fostering a unique adaptability that became their greatest asset. They mastered the art of living off the land, developing survival skills that enabled them to navigate the changing seasons and terrains with ease. This adaptability extended to their social and military structures, which were as dynamic as the landscapes they traversed. In stark contrast, sedentary societies viewed this constant movement with a mix of marvel and unease. The sight of entire Mongol communities on the move, with their herds and homes in tow, challenged the very idea of civilization as these societies understood it. To the sedentary, permanence meant stability and progress, while the Mongol way of life seemed wild and unpredictable, a relentless dance of survival that defied conventional norms. This nomadic lifestyle was more than a cultural choice. It shaped the Mongols' strategic thinking and approach to warfare. Their ability to mobilize swiftly and unpredictably made them formidable opponents, often outmaneuvering civilizations that relied on fixed defenses and cities. The Mongols' worldview, deeply rooted in their nomadic heritage, embraced the impermanence of life, seeing every moment as a new opportunity to explore, conquer, and adapt. This perspective, unbounded by the constraints of the settled world, allowed the Mongols to build one of history's most expansive empires, leaving a legacy that challenges our understanding of stability and progress, inviting us to reconsider the true nature of civilization itself. The dreaded impact on cities was a hallmark of Mongol conquests, instilling a profound sense of fear and foreboding wherever their banners flew. Imagine living in a thriving city, its walls standing tall against the horizon, only to see it reduced to rubble under the relentless onslaught of Mongol forces. The reputation for devastation that the Mongols earned was not just due to their martial prowess but their strategic decision to make examples of key cities. The tactics employed were as brutal as they were effective. Faced with resistance, the Mongols would lay siege, often cutting off supply lines, bombarding defenses with their formidable siege engines, and offering terms of surrender that were harsh yet offered a glimmer of mercy. But once a city chose defiance, the ensuing destruction was merciless. Buildings burned, walls crumbled, and the streets once filled with life echoed only with the cries of the vanquished. This devastation was not merely about conquest, it was a calculated measure to ensure compliance from others. The sight of a city's ruins served as a stark warning, a psychological tool that broadcast the consequences of defiance to all who might resist. City dwellers lived with the constant specter of Mongol wrath, shaping their towns and communities in ways to mitigate such fears, often involving paying tributes or pledging loyalty in hopes of avoidance. The reshaping of urban landscapes under Mongol influence was marked by this fear, where cities that collaborated might be spared and even prosper under Mongol rule, while those that resisted faced ruin and the scattering of their inhabitants. This phenomenon reshaped the very essence of urban life, creating a legacy where resilience and compliance became survival's cornerstones in the shadow of the Mongol Empire. The specter of Mongol devastation left indelible marks on the cities they encountered, a chilling testament to their strategic ruthlessness and overwhelming might. In summary, as we unravel the tapestry of Mongol life, a world emerges where the uncanny was interwoven with the ordinary, presenting a civilization steeped in mysteries that both fascinate and unsettle. From the eerie silence of sky burials to the relentless mobility that sent chills through the hearts of sedentary societies, the Mongol Empire was a realm where the boundaries of the natural and supernatural often blurred. Their innovations in warfare, including the chilling efficiency of the Yam System and the audacious use of biological warfare, demonstrated a mastery that reshaped military strategies for generations. Meanwhile, the rituals, oaths, and practices that punctuated their daily lives imbued their expansion with a cultural complexity that defies simple understanding. These customs, once normal, were vital threads in the narrative of a power that, through sheer force and cunning, carved an indelible mark on the world stage. As we reflect on these histories, we are reminded of the vast distance we've traversed in our societal norms and values. Yet, they also invite us to marvel at the dual nature of progress where awe and terror dance in perpetual tandem. We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity, challenged your perceptions, and perhaps made you ponder the hidden depths of our shared past. Feel free to share your thoughts and insights in the comments below, and let us know what intrigues you most about the Mongol legacy. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Until next time, when we take another step into the enigmatic past, keep exploring and let history's mysteries inspire your imagination.